A very good evening to one and all present here. My name is Miss Priyanka, and it gives me incredible joy to welcome all of us for the webinar that our school has hosted, which is also the National Mathematics Day. National Mathematics Day is celebrated every year to recognize the achievements of the Indian mathematician Srinivasan Ramanujan, who was born on this very day on 1887. Srinivasan Ramanujan was an Indian mathematician who lived during the British rule in India. Although he never had a formal training in pure mathematics, he has made substantial contribution to the mathematical analysis, number theory, infinite series, including solutions of mathematical problems that were considered unsolvable. He compiled nearly 3,900 results and opened an entire new area of work and inspired a vast number of future resources. His incredible work is acknowledged by mathematicians all over the country today. On this very special occasion, we have with us one of the very prominent personalities, Miss Kakuli Bakshi, who has bagged the CBSE Best Teacher Award 2019. Miss Kakuli Bakshi, who is the Vice Principal of Haryana Vidya Mandir School. She is the CBSE resource person. She is also a contributor in Diksha and a content developer for CBSE Training Manual. Miss Kakuli Bakshi, although being a motivator, is also the author of many mathematics books. So we are very, very glad to have her with us today for this webinar that is specially organized by our school, Olivia Enlightened School. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Miss Kakuli Bakshi. I request you to let us know your views on the National Mathematics Day.
So I believe that every day is mathematics day because our life starts with mathematics, we live with mathematics, and without mathematics, nothing is possible. So this is definitely a day, special day, but to me, every day is mathematics day.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, ma'am, when you say that every day is Mathematics Day, would we agree on this fact that mathematics is very much into to a normal person's life as well?
Yes, definitely. Because when we wake up, we look at the clock as full of numbers. If we want to know what is a date, that's a number. If we are taking food in a plate that is circular in shape, students are coming to school having a tiffin box, water bottle, either they are cylindrical or spherical or cuboidal. They're coming by school bus. The school bus tire is circular. So everywhere mathematics is there. Only thing that we teachers should not say the students what to see, but where to look at. If the mathematical eye is there, then we can find out mathematics everywhere.
Wow, ma'am, that was indeed very beautiful and a very different perspective of looking at it. So, in the social stigma, however, is attached to mathematics for people who did not know this perspective. So, were you ever a child who feared mathematics?
For my case, I had love for mathematics from the very beginning. But definitely, madam, you are correct that society has created an artificial pressure on this subject. When a child comes back on the day of report card, the first question most of the cases parents ask, what is your total marks? And the second question becomes, how much you have got in maths? Why? Mathematics is a subject like other five subjects. So this is a very unfortunate part that a small child, a child of class 2 or 1 has come back from school. First, most of the cases parents open the maths copy. Maybe Hindi teacher has rejected two answers, 2 pages. Nothing affects. But out of 5 questions, only one math is wrong. It becomes creates a tension to the parents, and the tension gets percolated to the students. Yari, out of one question wrong, I have kept a tutor for you, but still you are making some mistake in mathematics. How will you grow? How will you survive in life? So these pressures, social pressures are there. Definitely social stigma is there. We all should try to come out of this, because mathematics is a subject like other 5 subjects.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing. Ma'am, so we also, some people also consider that if, like you said, in Hindi, if a child has not, entire passages are wrong and people are pinpointing on that, and which you feel that we should come out of that stigma. But as a parent myself, I also feel that many people like me would consider that if a child is better in maths, he would also have a better intelligent quotient like the IQ. So, would you consider this as a fact, or would we consider this as a fiction?
IQ, it is not that only mathematics students have got a better IQ, or is better IQ means mathematics. So many IAS are there in our country who has cleared IAS or IPS examination without mathematics. They are the cream of the society. So in many of the fields, we have seen that many people are, every subject needs IQ. Without the good IQ is not possible. So again, I'm saying that these are the myth. Definitely, if a student has got inclination towards a number, then that is good. That means a student may have got inclination towards mathematics, because many students have got the problem of dyscalculia. They have got phobia about mathematics, looking at the numbers. That's a disease. But liking of number is definitely good. That it shows that, but that is not sufficient condition for being good in mathematics. Mathematics needs a logical mind, logical setup of mind, problem solving ability, reasoning skill. Those things can be nurtured, can be enhanced, can be increased with time with the help of students, teachers, parents, communication. But this is never to be thought that yes, only mathematics needs IQ, or if IQ is good, that means it can be a mathematics. Every subject is equally important. Every subject needs acumen. Every subject needs IQ.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for saying this. I also 100% agree with this. I'm sure many of the viewers agree with this point also. Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, can we say that mathematics as a whole, as a subject, does have a scope for fun learning activities in class?
Definitely. Definitely, this subject has a vast scope for learning through fun. Uh, this is, we will have to inculcate, and this subject is to be taught like this, is to be presented like this. Uh, say a student, we should remember that we are not creating the calculators.
Mhm.
We
Yes.
are creating a creative mind. Mathematics is not only about calculation. So there is experiential learning, we have got hands-on activities, we have got recreational mathematics. So we should emphasize, definitely we know that, I know that Olivia School is emphasizing on all these things. So this learning by doing is important, where we can have this type of mathematical eye, knowledge, inclination. Just I'll share few screens with you afterwards, where I can show you that how, say, we can make a calendar by the children, where as a full day we can make it. 12 months, we can make 12 groups in the classes. We can ask every child that make calendar of January, but don't write the numbers. Express the numbers in some mathematical operational way. So maybe the child has written 3. In place of 3, the child has written 6 by 2. So,
Mm.
and those calendars are to be used in the classrooms, not conventional calendar. So when a teacher who is not a mathematics teacher, maybe an English teacher, maybe an history teacher, when the teacher will be coming, is looking at the calendar, the teacher will be in search of number 3, today's date, but there is no 3. Maybe there is root of 9. To an English teacher, it is a difficult thing to understand. Then definitely the teacher will ask that,
Yes.
what is it? The child who has met, the child will get the opportunity to teach the teacher that what is root 9, and that clarifies the doubt of the child, that makes the concept clear, and the child feel elated that yes, this is my project, this is my mathematics which I am being able to display or teach my teacher. So that is a fun for the child, that is no more a mathematics, but our job is done, that I have been able to teach the child the root concept of root or Badmas rule by creating this. So there's different types of fun activities we can do by involving the children.
Wow, ma'am, that was incredibly brilliant. And what a wonderful idea. I think we can inculcate that. It's a brilliant idea, and it's got such a scope for learning. And it has, we have broadened the horizons of the children, but not limiting the subject to only the books. But now we are putting it very, very in practical uses, and teachers are also able to see this creative work. So, ma'am, you just mentioned about recreational mathematics. Can we understand what is recreational mathematics?
This is not about using the formula of mathematics, not about calculation of mathematics. Some maybe Sudoku, which where we can put some mathematical figures. See, a teacher is willing or thinking to teach polygons in the class. That means triangle, quadrilateral, five-sided figures, pentagon, six-sided figures, hexagon. These words are very difficult words to a child. Why will a child have interest in these words? What a teacher can do, a teacher can make a Sudoku in the class that please do the Sudoku where you will have to place different figures. So full class will do it, not for mathematics, for game, for fun. That is a recreation. But after completion of that, the teacher can say, what is this figure? How many sides are there? The child will say three sides. How many sides are there? Five sides. Then the teacher can say, yes, the name is this. Or we can give some pictures and questions where from where the child can create an equation. So this is recreational mathematics where logical questions will be there, but in a fun-loving way, where students will not feel stressed. They will feel fresh by doing this, but we can teach mathematics in that manner.
Yes, ma'am. That is a very, very efficient way to do it, and in which the children are learning without having any kind of stress, but indirectly they are learning the concepts. So, ma'am, would you like to take us through? We were thinking about age and step-by-step learning of mathematics. So, can you kindly let us know about how we can spiral bind the learning of mathematics age-wise?
Step wise, yes, it is very important because, first of all, I don't believe in teaching mathematics by tricks. Mathematics has got its own grammar. So that is to be taught. Mathematics has got its own language. So
Yes,
some cases we feel that do these things by tricks, by shortcuts, that is dangerous. That is never to be done. So maths to be taught in a step-by-step manner. Say like multiplication. When we teach a child multiplication by two-digit number, by 14. So in the second line, beginning, we say put a zero. Why? That most of the cases, students do not ask, teachers do not explain why this zero is there. We say first multiply by 4, second line always either leave the first place or put a zero there and then multiply by the tens digit. Why? That actually comes from distributive property. When we multiply by 14, that is actually to multiply by 10 plus 4. This expansion is needed. This step is to be shown. Then only the concept will be clear to the child. Not like that. If you are multiplying by 35, then first teach the child that multiply a number by 5, then multiply a number, same number by 30, add those two results, see what does it come. So when you are multiplying by 30, then a zero is coming. That's why the zero is there. So we should spend some time for teaching in this elaborate step-by-step method, then only the student can find out the inherent beauty and logic in mathematics. We have seen for division, say 13,652 is divided by 13. We have seen that last step 2 is coming. 13 into 0 is 0. That 0 is to be subtracted from 2. But many of the cases we don't do that subtraction. Before that 2 has come, we say, yes, this 2 is remainder. But no, that is not the definition of remainder. Maybe the answer is correct, but it has not fulfilled the definition of mathematics. The last step, 13 into 0 is 0. That 0 to be subtracted from 2. Then the 2 will come, that 2 is called remainder. So this detailing of the steps are very important. Otherwise, students will not learn mathematics. They will only be taught to score marks. From there, the learning gaps start taking. That's why step by step teaching is very, very important.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So, step by step is very important in teaching mathematics so that the children can reason out, they see the beauty of the subject. So, ma'am, this is me asking you a question in choosing, like asking a parent to choose which is the favorite child, but just for the fun of it. So, I wanted to ask algebra, arithmetics, and geometry are some of the, fields in mathematics. So, which one do you think is more fun or something?
The mathematics subject is a subject of beauty and fun in every component. That depends how we are presenting the component. Say if everywhere geometry to full of applicability, because we have got many visual learners where it becomes better for us to teach geometry through different pictures. I'll share some photographs with you. So where students can connect, wow, it is known to me. But perhaps the child would not know. See, in case of arithmetic, uh, we have got integers. Initially, we teach natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the question is there, why the word natural is there? Why we have named it as natural number, not something else? We can say a story to the child that yes, if a beggar, very small child, blind, have never studied, if you give that child 5 chocolates and ask how many are there, that child will automatically count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody has taught the child. It comes naturally. That's why it's a natural number. Now the number system creates a problem in children's mind. That what is natural? Because the child, small brain, it is not easy for a child to remember a natural number, whole number, integer, rational number, a real number, so many things to remember. So the integer comes in class 5, 6. What is integer? Positive or negative integer? Till 5 students would know 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When the student is coming in class 6, we are introducing -1, -2. The child looks at the teacher like this. Till class 5, I would know numbers mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If the same teacher or a new teacher is saying, or bhi number hai, -1, -2, -3, the child thinks, how does it become? It's very difficult for a teacher to make the student unlearn. Because till 5 we have taught. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the numbers. But my question is, the child who is in upper KG or 1, has the child got any concept about -1, -2? Madam, if I ask you a question that, do you believe that a child who is upper KG or 1, does that child know what is -1 or -2? No.
No, ma'am, I don't think so. He will know.
No. But many of us go to the shopping mall, multi-storied shopping mall. Where is the parking? In the basement. We keep our car in the basement. We take a lift. We go upstairs. When we come down to the lift, the child presses the button. Where is the car? Below 0. In the lift, between 0, then -1. In the
Yes.
lift, it is written. That means the child has seen, the child has touched. But we parents, we teachers have not helped the child to where to
Mm,
look. That means a child, definitely in upper KG or 1, we can create the question in child's mind. Or maybe the child had the question, but which had remained unanswered.
Mhm.
The child himself or herself had touched that button -1 because the child knows my car is kept in -1 in basement. So at
Mhm.
that time, if I show the child, yes, after zero something is there -1, then in class 6, the subject does not become difficult and no question of unlearning is there. So the arithmetic can be made very easy to the child if everywhere we find mathematics. In case of algebra, see in class 6, we are introducing algebra. That is another that creates a subject abstract because many of the cases we say x, y, these are numerals. These are called variables. 2, 3, these are numerals, these are constants. How difficult it becomes to a child. I say
Yes.
new 4 things, literal, numeral, then variable, then constant. But why don't we do in this way? We can show the child a classroom, a vacant classroom, the child's own classroom. We can ask the child what is present here. The child will say board, 20 benches, wardrobe, classroom, painting, everything. Now we are showing another picture, which is fulfilled class, where at the end of the day, then you can ask the child, what do you see here? The child will say the previous things. Along with that, my friends. How many
Mm.
friends? Maybe 18 friends. Then the photograph of the third day. What is present here? Previous things. Now today the child will count 17 friends. Now we can ask the child, make a chart. First day, what you have seen, first picture, second picture, what you have seen, third picture, what you have seen. Now in all the three columns, which things are not changing? The child will say, because the child himself or herself has answered me. Put the correct question, don't give the correct answer. The child will say that yes, in all the days, my classroom is same, blackboard is same, 20 benches are same, wardrobe is same. But what is not same? My friends. So which is not same, changing, that is variable, and which is same, that is constant. So then the algebra also becomes very realistic. So we can make every subject realistic, fun making, and related.
Oh, ma'am, that was such an incredible way of putting it. It is indeed a very, very real life based, and we at Olivia strongly believed that more than teaching a child a subject, we foster this studying of the entire child. We are fostering on, we're encouraging the child to teach the child love for all the subjects, and the subjects and this love is not only coming for maths, biology, or physics, but it's an integrated as a whole. So we definitely believe at our school that the holistic development of the child, in which you very much said that the love for learning is inculcated in the child, and that is what we are trying to foster. And we have so many activities that now we are very fortunate to see some of them resulting and some of them becoming fruitful in our students as well. So, ma'am, would you kindly let us know some ways in which we can integrate mathematics with other subjects as well, please?
Yes, that is very good thing Olivia School is doing because uh, we must bring more and more students towards mathematics. As in the beginning of the session, ma'am has said, there is a global problem in mathematics. My question is why? Why? A student, when a child is coming to the school, all the subjects are new to the child. But why days after days, day by day, the mathematics becomes a subject to question. Mathematics becomes difficult subject to them. It should not be because we must remember that we should connect as you are doing. Say circles. I'm sure, as you have told, I'm discussing one thing. Circles. I'll show that picture also to you. In class 6, a teacher teaches circle. When the question of integration comes, now some cases maths teachers start feeling integration with geography, integration with history, integration with art. Arey Bapre, we have got so huge syllabus. Again, I'll have to go to the class with brush and painting. No, not that. Nothing to do beyond curriculum, only to integrate. Say the class 6 teacher is teaching the child how to draw a circle. Let them do by the curriculum. One circle. The teacher teaches concentric circle, keeping the same center, bigger the radius, another circle, another circle. We teach that. Let the teacher do it. Class 6 teacher teaches the child how to find out the perimeter of the circle. Do it. How to find out the area of the circle. Do it. Now, how to find out the difference between the areas of two circles, that is area of the ring. Do it. I'm not saying doing anything beyond curriculum. What the teacher has drawn, one circle, bigger circle, again bigger circle. Now this is the raw material for the art teacher. The duty of the math teacher is hand over this to the art teacher and say that this I have done. Remaining part you please complete. The art teacher will make it finished by the students. These gaps which are kept, that will be fulfilled by the art teacher, and fantastic mandala art will be created. And when that one will be projected in the mathematics exhibition, maybe the student who has initially done it, the student is very weak in mathematics. But when that student will see, my project is there in the maths exhibition, the student will be more and more encouraged to do maths, because we have integrated hers or his strength with mathematics. Similarly, if we think for spirographs, that is also circular pictures. In very fun-loving way, students do it in the art classes. Different colorful spirographs, circle, 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 circle. Now, the art teacher will hand over the page to me by using, because the student himself or herself has done it. It is the student's creation, not mine. Why should I teach from the book? If the student can create a picture, then I'll ask the child, from that picture you find out the length of the radius. From that picture, you find out the ratio of the radii. From that picture, find out area, perimeter, everything. And that same page I'll hand over to the geography teacher. The geography teacher will say, yes, this is representing the orbit of Venus. This is representing the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. Then the student will feel that, yes, I am being able to connect all the subjects. Then it will not be an isolated subject, because united we can stand. So if all the subjects and teachers are getting united, the concept will be better and the students will feel more interested to take this subject as a fun.
Thank you so much sharing, ma'am. It was a brilliant way of looking at it. Now, as a person who always used to think myself, as a person who always used to think that mathematics was a tough subject, now you have opened my eyes to see mathematics in so many things. I just felt very, very inspired, ma'am. I thank you immensely, and I'm sure our viewers also started to think about mathematics in a different perspective. And we are ever thankful for bringing this kind of thought in all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, now shall we go to some of the presentations that you wanted to show us? We would really appreciate it.
Sure, definitely. May I share my screen?
Yes, please.
See, normally what happens, we give them this type of questions. What is the value of C? Here the answer will be 4.
Yes,
But in this case, a student needs the concept of factorization, concept of equations, but the same question we can put in this manner. So I think definitely the second one is better for the child, because here the child, because this type of pictures they are habituated with, as I'm saying that, fun for mathematics. So start from this. Give the child this question. So, and ask, solve it very interestingly, joyfully, fun loving way. They will do it because they're habituated with this. After that, ask the child, put here R for red, put here blue for blue. So they will make R into B is equal to 72. So automatically they will create a question. So that is a better method to make the subject more interesting. As I was saying that we can use Sudoku for teaching polygons. So this question we can give that fill up this Sudoku so that every row and every column will be having one figure, no repetition. So students are very smart. In very short time they will do it. And that is the answer. Then we can teach, say the child, "Ki, what is the name of this? What is the name of this?" So first let them have a fun. Let them enjoy the class. Then we can go for the definitions. See, if we give them this question, apparently, this is a difficult question. Question of quadratic equation, question of root, question of linear equation of two variable. But the same question we can put in this manner. So first, we can put this one. After that, so let us draw their concentration. Ask them that solve this question, find the value of this leaf, find the value of the tree, and find no mathematical word. So let them enjoy it. After that, convert this into equation. The subject becomes easy to them, that is algebra. As we are saying, very, very difficulty level is there. Ask the child that is literals and numerals. 2x plus 3y, how much? Most of the cases, children answer 5xy or 6xy. It is a
Yes.
common problem in every school, everywhere. Almost 70% students face this. So there we can ask them by giving this type of papers. Not papers, you can, here I'm showing the paper. Because children are going to the McDonald's or KFCs. So, and they order for the food. They carry the serving tray. So this, and these are very yummy things for them. They like it. Never give this by pens and pencils because they don't like these words, pen, pencil, erasers. So ask them, two burgers you have ordered initially, then three burgers more. How many total burgers? They will say five. Now, next day I went to the shop. As you have got many friends, you have ordered 10 burgers and then three chips. How many burgers are there total? What you have ordered? No any child will answer 13 burgers. No any child will answer 13 chips because they are habituated buying these commodities. Then you put the question, why? Why not 13? So that's clear to them because they have purchased 10 burgers and 3 chips. Then you ask the child, in place of burger, you write a B. In place of chips, you write a C. So what you have purchased? 10 burger, 3 chips. That means 10B and 3C. 10B plus 3C. So your work is done, our work is done, and to the child, it will also be very clear that what is how to add like and unlike terms. I'm showing you this type of, as you are saying, integrated projects. So this is a very good art activity. This art can be done by the students. You can take it from some artist. Now here only we'll have to put some names, A, B, C, D. Then we can ask some questions that A, B, C, D are midpoints in this painting. What can you say about this quadrilateral ABCD? That's a question of class 9. Midpoint theorem is being used here. So who has said that in senior classes there is no art activity or integration possible? Very much possible. Now we are putting them M, N, P, Q, equidistant points. And we can put this type of questions that M, N, P, Q lie on the diagonal AC, dividing AC into 4 equal parts. Now, what type of results can be derived? Congruency of the triangles are coming. So many concepts, so many questions we can put, but in a different manner so that the class will be attractive. Students will enjoy the class, not only by black and white conventional pictures. See this type of small questions we can give. That's a balance machine. Mango and pineapple. Total weight is 100. Each will be having weight how much? Very easily students will say 5 and 5. But actually this is a question of linear equation of two variable which comes in class 10. That is mango plus pineapple is equal to 10. X plus y is equal to 10. Mango is equal to pineapple. X is equal to y. So it's a linear equation of two variables which is taught in class 10. But very joyfully we can do this question in class 4 or 5. If we give it to the child, they will do it very happily without knowing that they are solving linear equation. So when I say integration, vertical integration is important. Same picture is to be shared with the class 10 teacher. When the teacher will teach linear equation in two variable, the child can connect. Array, this question I have seen before 5 years. So it becomes easier for a teacher to teach. As I was saying in class 6, we all teachers do this work. That, as I was saying, circles. I am not saying don't do anything, never do anything beyond curriculum, do within curriculum. So all the circles, concentric circles, area perimeter, hand it over to the art teacher. See what is a fantastic finished product. Don't you think the students will feel elated that yes, it is my project being
God.
kept? Now, another problem is there in class 7, right? A student has to remember so many geometrical figures, quadrilaterals, that is parallelogram, rhombus, square, rectangle, trapezium, isosceles trapezium. Many of them have got very similar properties. We teach them, we say the child, they write it in a chart form, but still they forget. But a very good project, I have taken it from my school. You can do in this winter vacation, you can give this as a homework that create different jewelries by using quadrilaterals. And after school reopens in the new year, you will gift it to your friend. And the friend who is getting that gift, that child will have to describe that jewelry within 2 days time in front of the class. So automatically see how fantastic project students have made. Is it not amazing? Is it not integration of subjects? So when the student is gifting this one to the friend who is getting it, the friend will have to study about this project, about this quadrilaterals properties, because the student knows that I'll have to thank my friend and I have to describe it. So automatically the student will study, not for us, not for love of mathematics, for love for a friend. How beautiful ornaments created by the students in mathematics class. So no wastage of time, just sharing the idea. You give the idea to the child will do it at home. As I was saying about this calendar, this type of calendars can be created by the students, which you can display in the classrooms. Another nice project I'm sharing with you. So the teacher is, even in the online classes teachers can do, you can ask the child, do you have a protector? Maybe the child will say, no, I have not brought it. Then say, don't no need of it. Just take a paper, take a square paper, fold it. Now put that one first corner here. So you will get 30 degree, 60 degree, and this is 90 degree. Again fold it and put this corner in this case. So as it is 30 divided by 2 parts, it will be 15. Now again fold this portion. So finally what you have got this. The child will be amazed, yes, by 5 minutes I have created where 30 degrees there, where 45 degrees there, 15 degrees there, 75 degrees there. So all the angles I can measure by this line. That means I have created my own protector. Then the child will feel very happy to do it, because they don't need the geometry box to buy. They can create their own protector, and by using this they can draw the angles. As I was saying, the spirographs. Art teacher can create this drawing in the class by spirographs. Math teacher can take this one and can teach the child what is radius, what is perimeter, what is the circumference, and hand it over to the geography teacher and see what fantastic thing this is. So we must remember, mathematics is not an individual island, it's a connected island. We must connect all the subjects. This is experiential learning. When a child has come from the zoo, ask the child what the child has seen. Maybe a giraffe. What is the skin of the giraffe? That is called tessellated skin. That is tessellation, which is a part of class 9 mathematics project of art integration given by board. I'm just sharing you how to create a tessellation. There are many tessellations, rotational tessellation. Cut from the top, add to the right, cut from bottom, add to the left, color it, you will get a fish. Join those fish, you will get a beautiful carpet or mat, which you can use at home and school. A math teacher can teach parallel lines, polygons, vertically opposite angle. By this one, there is integration of the two subjects. Even if we think for dance, when a Kathak is being taught 1 hour teen tal, the dance teacher starts counting from 1, ends up at 17, 16, then 17. So in the maths class, we can take this one as a question. Divide 17 into 5 bits, so keeping an equal gap between. What the dance teacher will teach from here, from 1, Tete kata gadi ghene dha, gap, 1 gap. Then from 7, Tete kata gadi ghene dha, at 11 finished, again a gap. Starting from 13, Tete kata gadi ghene dha. So the dance teacher will teach. Only thing when the dance teacher will teach, I should know this from the dance teacher, and that one I can convert in the math question. So we can connect each and every fraternity. And very important is assessment. We must teach the child how to make a self-assessment. Many of the cases, they don't open up. So we can give this type of papers to the child where they will give a tick mark. They can find out, yes, how many parts I know, how many I don't know. They can share with the teacher. So a few things in the short time I have been able to share with you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. Each and every slide was had so much creativity in it. I am just on behalf of our entire viewers, I would warmly thank you for sharing such brilliant exhibitions of creativity here in mathematics, ma'am. It was each slide spoke volumes. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, going back to how we could make the subject interesting and how we could make it more realistic, these are questions that you have answered me by saying that it should be very in tuned with life. You should inculcate the way you have to enlighten that fume in a child in which he or she starts to knows where to look. So, ma'am, with having said this, it is extremely, the entire webinar was so much, ma'am, so informative, and it was filled with so much knowledge, and we cannot express enough gratitude for spending this moment with us, this evening with us, Ms. Kakuli Bakshi. Thank you so much wholeheartedly. So, ma'am, as an educator and as a facilitator, would you like to share any few golden words with us before we part?
First thing that love mathematics. It is very unfortunate for us that when a child is coming to the school, maybe not from the English medium background family, but she or he is studying all the 5 subjects in a foreign language, and the student is presenting all the 5 subjects in English, but a student is taught English, history, geography, maths for all the 10 or 12 years by the teachers. But unfortunately, I being a maths teacher, when the child is going to class 10, I'm asking the child, beta, you are not fit for the standard maths paper. You opt for the basic maths paper. I think we all maths teachers should take an oath that we will make the subject lovable. And all the students should know that, yes, dear students, this is your subject. This is a subject like others. So I believe that all the students are fit for facing the standard maths paper. And the teachers should remember that only practice can increase skill, not love. So concept and practice are supplementary to each other, not substitute. We should give ample time for clearing the concept. Then practice will enhance the love for the subject and strength of the subject. And as I said, horizontal integration as well as vertical integration is important. When I'm teaching a subject, I must integrate horizontally with art, with geography, with biology. And The 2 class teacher should not think whatever I am teaching it is not required in class 6. Many worksheets are there, maybe in class 2. Teachers are teaching them counting by different geometrical figures, triangles, quadrilaterals, circles. How many circles are there? How many petals are there in this flower? How many triangular leaves are there? So the counting, the same page is to be handed over to the class 6 teacher. That 6 teacher will say, yes, this is called a circle, this is called an equilateral triangle. The same page to be given to the class 8 teacher, who will put the values, measurements, and will teach the child how to find out perimeter, area, and ratio, so that there's a vertical integration. More we integrate vertically and horizontally, the strength will be increased. The students will be a part of this mathematics teaching learning process. And finally, there must be a collaboration between student, teacher, and parents. I request the parents that don't create a phobia among the children, and teachers also should not cite any negative example in front of the students. We all be positive. This is a subject which we need every day. Without teaching also, we know the subject. That is the beauty of the subject. If we go to the shop in the early morning, the person who is coming to give milk, if I give some money to that person, how beautifully the person calculates the balance and gives me back. So this is a subject which is there in our blood. This is not the subject to be taught in such a difficult way. So dear children, you all know the subject. It's your subject. You are with mathematics. So don't be afraid of this. Olivia School is there with you. We all teachers, madam, everybody is trying to reduce the fear of the subject and strike off the word fear from the subject mathematics. This is our subject, is your subject. It's a subject of fun and joy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Mathematics has always been considered as a subject which is to be very, very tough. The social stigma attached to mathematics is that mathematics is a very, very tough subject. It is even said that students who are good in mathematics have very, very good IQ. But recent researchers in education has challenged this fact that mathematics does have a scope for interactive learning. It is a subject that can have a lot of fun learning and educational activities. Plus, mathematics also is a root for so many principles that we need to live our lives. Example, the geometrical shapes that are present everywhere around us, the arithmetic, the number 1, 2, 3, and the number -1, -2, and -3 that we definitely use in our everyday lives is something that cannot go unnoticed. These are just some examples on how mathematics rules our everyday life. So without much ado, now let us go and see how mathematics can be fun and how mathematics can be a learning activity. We have our very own Mr. Subrajit Karmakar, the magical person who is going to show us some magic tricks using mathematics. And like we all say, let's make each and every subject fun to learn. And here now you are going to see some really great magic.
Mathematics. Is it merely a subject or it's a mystery? Is it actually applicable everywhere, or is it just something that we don't understand properly? Is it something we invented or we merely discovered? We don't know the answers because sometimes we make mathematics into mathemagic, because there is not a great deal of difference between magic and maths. There is a very thin line. Today, on this occasion of National Mathematics Day, we are here to blur that line even more. Welcome to the class of Mathemagic. So welcome everyone to this amazing class of Maths and Magic. Here we are sitting with our two beautiful volunteers, Miss Sunita and Miss Pratima. Let's learn some maths and magic, right? So here you can see I have made a grid of 9 papers. I have 9 different numbers written on it. Okay, we don't know what are these numbers right now. So I would request you, Miss Pratima, to touch one of the papers. Please put a finger on it. Anywhere. This one. We'll just make a mark on this. We'll see it later. Okay. We'll make a mark on it. Now, Miss Sunita, you need to use any one other paper. Okay. But the condition is you cannot use this column, neither you can use this row. Okay. So, your option is this. So, please choose one.
I'll choose
This one, I'll put a mark on this even. Now, I cannot use this row, this column and this row. Okay. So, I have to choose either this or this. So, let me choose this one. Okay. So, I'll put a mark on this. Before we do the reveal, okay, before we do the reveal what you have chosen, I want to make one prediction. Okay. I want to make one prediction. You don't know what is this prediction right now. Can the camera little bit focus on the board? I want to make one prediction. So, my prediction right now is 6. Doesn't make sense to you right now. Why 6? Why my prediction is 6? So, Miss Pratima, I would request you to reveal the first card that you have selected. Please reveal. Can the camera see this? The number is 2. Okay. Miss Sunita, can you reveal the next card? The number is 4. Can the camera see this? Number is 4. Let me reveal the final card. The number, can it be seen on the camera? Can you read out the number, Miss Pratima?
Yes, 9.
9. So, we have got 2, 4, 9. Can you please add this number? 9 plus 4
13.
plus 2?
15.
15. 15 means 1 and 5. 1 plus 5?
1 plus 5, 6.
Can you see the prediction there?
Wow.
Okay, no, we don't clap in this class. Okay, we have a magical word. What is a magical word? Mathamagic. So, every time you people are impressed, please say Mathamagic. Say Mathamagic. Mathamagic. Okay, right now the attendance in our class is increasing. We have one more kind volunteer with us, Miss Sotapa, right? So, Miss Sotapa, we are doing something called Maths is Magic. Okay, so let's try something with you as well. All right. So, do you believe in coincidences?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Okay. Just could you speak a little louder? We have to.
Yes, I do.
Okay, fine. Do you believe in maths? That maths is always applicable in everywhere.
Yes, yes.
Yes?
Though I'm not that comfortable with mathematics, but yeah, I believe in.
Oh, you believe in mathematics. So let's put mathematics into test. Okay, and let's put it in like a scenario of coincidence. Okay. This is your phone, right? You have a calculator feature in this.
I need to open this?
Yeah, please open the calculator feature. And Miss Pratima, I would also request you to open the calculator feature in your phone, right? Okay. Miss, can you just open your calculator and help me with the writing part? Can you go to the board? Yeah. Miss Sutaba, while teaching in junior classes, there is always a problem teaching the child maths. Little bit there is a problem, yeah. So let's try to learn some magic so that we can teach the children properly. Okay. So right now, what I want all three of you to do is punch in. Don't show it to me. Punch in a random 3-digit number in your phones, calculators. That is. Done? Sunita Miss, are you done? Yes. Sunita Miss, please write it on the board as well so that we can reveal it later. Okay. Now, I think all of you got a 3-digit number.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just giving you an example. Suppose your number is 282. Okay. It's a 3-digit number. Suppose your number is this. So, you have written 282. Now, I want you to repeat that number in the same sequence, like you again write 282. So, you have got a 6-digit number, that is 282, 282. Can you do that in your phone? Done? Done? Miss Sunita, done? Yes. Okay, now you have got a 6-digit number, right? All of you? 6-digit number? 6-digit? Now, it's a difficult number to guess, isn't it? It's a 6-digit number. What I want you to do is right now, think about the mathematics of the number. In mathematics, when you teach a child to do something, addition is easy, subtraction is a bit tougher, multiplication is tougher, but the toughest one is division, right? The toughest one is division. So let's learn division in a magical way. All of you have got a number?
Yes.
Now I bet if you divide this number by 13, you get a whole number. You don't get a fraction, that is like a decimal point you will not get. Please check your numbers, divide by 13.
14.
By 30. 13, 1 3, 1 3.
Divided by 1.
Divided by 1 3. I hope you get a whole number. You don't get a fraction. You get a whole number? You get a whole number? So we have deduced already that 13 is a factor of this number, right? Now, you've got a result. All of you got a result. Miss Sunita, please write the result in the board as well.
Yes, I will.
You have written? Okay. Let's take it a step further. Take the result divided by 11, which is a very tough number, and I bet again you get a whole number. You don't get a decimal. Yeah?
Divided by 11.
Divided by 11, yes. Got it? So till now it's working fine. But we spoke about coincidence, right? We all spoke about coincidence. Let's find another factor magically. Divided by 7, the result. And you get a special number. Please check the number.
Yes. The first digit number. Yes.
What was your first number?
256.
What did you get?
256.
What was your first number?
789.
What did you get?
789.
Sunita Miss, what was your first number?
Sir, I'm still doing.
You're still doing. We'll look at you a little bit later.
My number was 971.
Now what did you get?
I got at last 971.
So is the factor and the magic and the coincidence correct?
Yes.
So can we say the magic word together? What is the magic word? Matha-magic. Can we say in unison? Matha-magic? Please repeat after me. Matha-magic. Magic. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, Miss Sunita, you're so kind of you. Please sit. Please come back. Okay. So I think we are having a bit of fun in this magical maths class, right? Are you people enjoying the magical maths class?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get on to something a little bit more difficult. As I told, teaching division is really difficult to the students, right? Let's take this division a one notch up. Okay, what is it? Now in this case, Ms. Uttapa, I would need your help in the board. Can you please help me with it? Here's a duster. Okay, and again, you don't need the calculator. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, we need the calculators of yours. Okay, try. Okay. First of all, let's talk about little bit the history of calculator. Okay, the first invention of calculator happened from abacus. Abacus was a counting machine. All of us know about this abacus. Abacus was a counting machine. Okay. Then we had the Blaise Pascal's calculator, a 8-digit calculator. Okay. Then we have the 16-digit calculator. Then we have computers. All right. But all these things were created so that we can save on time, because we cannot do calculation as fast as the calculator. So little bit change we are doing here right now. All right. Now when you are teaching division, the easiest number to divide is to divide anything by 10, correct? Like you are having 2740. So if you divide by 10, it is 274. But when you are teaching kids, dividing by 5 is not that easy, isn't it? Ms. Uttapa, I would request you to write a random 3-digit number on the board, clearly, please. Start dividing by 5. 38.6. Am I correct?
Yes.
Please check. Say is it 38.6?
Yes.
Okay. So say the magic word. What is the magic word?
Mathematics.
Mathematics. So maths makes you a human calculator. Okay. Miss, please. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Okay. So the best friend of our magician is a pack of cards. Okay. Correct. A pack of cards. Okay. The thing is that not many people know that it is the best friend of the mathematicians also, because we have 52 cards in a deck, 52 probabilities of having different things. Okay. So let's put our knowledge of probability in mathematics to a test, little bit small test. Okay. So here we will use all 52 cards. I'll just get rid of any joker or something like that if it is there in the deck. Let me check. Yeah. So get rid of this. Okay. So this is a normal pack of cards. We'll give it a quick shuffle. All right. So what I want you to do is that we'll start with all of you. We'll start with you first. I'll go on shuffling the cards like this. You say stop anywhere you like. Okay.
Stop.
Here, or you want to go more?
No, stop.
Stop. Okay. So I'll just very fairly give you your card. Fine. This is your card. You can take a look at it. Okay. Now Miss Sunita with you. Okay. Say stop anywhere.
Stop.
Okay. I just very fairly give you your card. Okay. Now with you. Okay. Okay. Say stop anywhere. Right.
Stop.
Here.
Yes.
Okay. So I will be very fair. I will not touch. You pull your card out by yourself. Okay. Now, right now, please, all of you check your cards. Don't show it to me. Please check your cards. Okay. You have the vision of your card in this number. Okay. Now this is probability, right? I have 1 in 52 chance for predicting your card, 1 in 52 chance for predicting your card, 1 in 52 chance for predicting your card. Look at me, please. Forget about the color. Okay, just think of the number. Okay, just think of the number. Repeat that number in your mind again and again. Like suppose it is 3, you say 3 in your mind. Okay, just keep on repeating the number 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Right? Okay. Is it making sense? The number 5 is making sense. Okay. The number is 5. Yes. Okay. Please do the same thing, Miss Sunita. Just keep on repeating the number. Okay. In your mind. Okay. Don't try to fool me and repeat another number. Okay, just keep on repeating that number only, and speak out from your mouth loud. 7, 7, 7, 7, right? Yeah, let's do it with you. Keep repeating the number in your head. Okay, now there's an amazing thing over here which has happened. I actually didn't know about it. Your number is 5.
Yes.
Your number is 7. Okay, and this is, not a magic. This is maths. 5, 7, your number is 9.
Yes, correct.
Okay, this is called arithmetic progression. Okay, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 2, 9. Please show your card. Okay. Okay. Now we don't end here. Okay, because 52 different possibilities are possible with this. Okay, now see, I just take back your cards wherever it is. Little bit, if you are skeptic, please check through these cards. These are all normal, no flashy cards over here, no trick cards, nothing, all normal cards. All right. Now let's go a little bit further with this deck of cards and make something little bit more impossible. Then you people please promise me that you will say the words mathemagic.
Yes.
Okay, that is the magic word. If I am able to impress you with this, okay, okay, all right. Think of any number. I don't care, like between 1 and 52, in middle somewhere. Please tell me the number.
66.
Between 1 and 52.
Okay, 150.
Think like in middle somewhere.
36.
36. Okay, we'll count down 36 cards. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. You want to go any further, or this is the fine? 36. So this is as fair as it gets, right? 36, your chosen number, chosen card. I will not deal or touch or do anything with it. You can shake it, definitely you can shake it. That's not my thing. Are you done? I just put it here in full view. Okay. Your number, your card. I have no control on it. Right. Now let's do something with you. Okay. Just ask me to stop anywhere.
Stop.
Okay. Very nice. Your stop position, your card. I have nothing to do with that. Now this time I don't have a card for you. Okay. I don't have a card for you. Your number is the number you have taken was 36. The card is there, 36th card, right? Okay. All right. You have also a card, right? That is your chosen card. I don't know the card, right? I don't know the card. Between 1 and 9. Okay. Think about a number in your mind right now.
7.
7. Okay. Between 1 and 9, think about a number. Don't tell me the number. Think about a number. Did one number flash to your mind suddenly? Okay. And in some color also? Like one color also flashed to your mind? Kind of red? Yeah. Then? Black? Okay. What was the number that flashed to your mind?
6.
6. What was your number?
7.
6. You see, you know what happens, like in mathematical world, we are influenced by results, numbers, which we shouldn't be. We always try to find out the result. Is this a correct result, or is this not the correct result? We go by intuitions and all. You chose 6. You chose 7. No one chooses the correct answer just because we are running behind the answer, because her card is 8.
Yes, mathematics.
Okay, yeah, but we are not done here. We are still not done here. Okay, let's. Okay, ask me to stop anywhere.
Stop.
Here, sure. Okay, put your card back in the pack. No, just put your card back. You know your card, right?
Yes.
Okay. I put the entire deck over here. Okay. This is as fair as it gets. Okay. Now, if I tell you, I can go through this card and memorize the entire deck. Is it possible? Memorize the order of the entire deck. Not possible? Right. Let me just memorize the entire deck for you. Okay. Let me once again try this. Okay, I memorized the entire deck. Okay, I memorized. You don't believe me, right? I memorized the entire deck. You remember your card?
Yes.
You were not involved in the first trick. Okay. Please give me a number between 1 and 30.
1 and 30.
1 and 30. 1 and 3.
25.
25. 25? You remember your number.
Yes.
Will it be impressive if her number, what is your number? 25. Number 25, 25th card is your chosen card.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This should be your card. Is this your card? No. You know why? The problem is we always rely and depend on others to do the maths for us. The math we should do ourselves. Please take this deck, hold this, count 25 cards down to the table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, turn it over. So, never rely on others to do the mathematics, right? Yes. So, what is the magic word? Mathemagic. Okay? Mathemagic class is going well, I believe so. Okay? Okay. So, I still have this pack of cards. Now, you wanted to see something new. Okay? Let's do something new with you. We'll involve them as well. Okay? So, once again, for your convenience and this is a normal ordinary deck of cards. Okay, you can, I'll not give you to take this home, you can definitely check it later. Okay, now what I want you to do is that same thing that we have done before, you say stop anywhere you like. Okay,
Stop.
right here, please take your card, have a look at it, don't tell me. Okay, done. Okay, miss, please say stop somewhere.
Stop.
Stop. Okay, please have a card. I can look at it, doesn't matter, you can reveal it to everyone. Okay, it's random, let me also see it. 7. Okay, miss, please say stop anywhere.
Stop.
Here, please take it, you can show it to me as well. Okay, 2, 7. Okay, oh, fine. We'll use this too little bit later. Okay, now first with your one, put it anywhere in the deck. You have memorized your card, right? Yes. Okay. Put it anywhere in your deck. Anyway, close it yourself so that I don't do any kind of trickery. I'll give it a shuffle as well to mix. If I find your card, okay, just by looking at the faces, it is a normal thing that magicians do, right? So I'll try to do the normal thing and turn it into something abnormal using mathematics. Okay, let's see. Okay, 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 okay. I've got your card. Let's check. No? I'm failing again and again. Okay, so let's do something maths. Okay, we'll just take this. Okay. Okay, just let it be. I'll do some other magic, okay, that you don't know yet, and I'll snap and the card will jump to the top automatically.
These are the probabilities.
Yeah, oh, yeah, probability. Once in 52 times it will definitely come. So I'll snap, it will jump to the top. Okay. See, the snap, it jumps. This is your card.
No.
Not this even.
No.
My God. Okay, I'll just put it, just clip your fingers like this, just clip it your fingers like this. Okay, here, like this. Okay. Okay. Hold it.
Yes.
This is not yours. I'll do some other magic. Okay. Just don't blink. Okay, if you blink, you miss it. Don't blink. Okay. Did you see it happen?
No.
You blinked. You know what happened? Just turn it over.
This is the card.
So,
This is the card. Yes.
did you feel like magic?
Yes.
But this is maths. Please, for every one of you to solve. So, we have a random book over here. So, what I need you to do is that I'll refer to this through this book. Okay. Say stop anywhere you want. Whatever page you stop in. Okay. See the first word in the first letter. Sorry, first sentence in that, and memorize it. Okay. For example, if you take this page, the first word is Rutherford. Okay. Understood? Okay. So let's do this test. Okay.
Stop.
Here? Absolutely? This is the page?
Yes.
Okay. Just memorize the first word. Okay. There is a proper word. No, it's not A, E, da. It's a word.
It's a word.
It's a word. Okay. Just close this book. Okay. So here is a normal book that we are having, which is having around, if you see, around 300 to 400 pages. Okay. So what is the probability that how many letters, words would be there in this book? If I consider around say 100 words in a this thing in this book. So 300 into 100, around 3000 words are there. So it is quite difficult to find out something from 3000 words. Okay, now you have got your word very clearly in your mind. Are you familiar with this word, or this is specifically a
We are familiar.
you are everywhere you are everywhere familiar. Okay, so it's a difficult guess, right, for me. If you put little bit mathematics, and I said maths is magic, we can turn it to magic. You know the meaning of this word? Yeah, okay. I think everyone knows the meaning of this word. Everyone knows the meaning of. Okay, okay. So can I just request you to go to the board and in bold letters write the word, and you too please make sure that I don't look at the board. Okay. But you people, once you see the word, you will also know the word and try to send it to me. Okay. How you will send, I don't know, but try to send it to me. Okay. Ms. Uthappa, please let us know once you are done writing. Is she done?
Yes.
Or both of you know this word?
Yes.
It's familiar word? Okay. Try to send. Ms. Uthappa, please come forward. The word is there in the board, right? The word is there in the board. Please come. So, Ms. Uthappa, please come this side. Please come this side. The word is there in the board, okay? All of you can see the word. Try to send it to me. How will you send it to me? Try to focus the word on my palm. Okay? All of you can see the word. When I count to 3, listen to me. When I count to 3, 1, 2, 3, loudly speak about a letter in this word. Okay? Any letter you want. Just see, and one letter will pop out to you. Okay? All of you. Okay? You will, but you people will not speak. You will only speak. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Example. Right?
Yes.
Mathematic once again.
Yes. So mathemagic has become impressive now?
Yes.
Okay. So please keep this trend flowing and be a mathematician, not a mathematician. Right? Thank you so much.
I would like to warmly and wholeheartedly thank Ms. Kakuli Bakshi. She has not only told us that mathematics could be so much engaging, but she has also taught us how to look at mathematics in a different light. Who would have thought that a subject which we all deemed tough would be so much related to our real life? I would also like to thank Mrs. Subhajit Kamakar, our mathematics teacher, who have brought in the front so many interesting games and engaging activities. So he has shown us that with a little bit of effort, we can make our subject so much interesting to our students. I would also like to thank our viewers who have been with us for such a long time, and we would love to have them with us every time our school hosts talk programs like this. Olivia Enlightened English School will be in the future also hosting many of talk shows like this, which will be engaging and informative plus educational. So I would implore everyone to be a part of us. Thank you and have a wonderful evening ahead.